Good morning, government. I hope that you guys have had a good week last week and hope that everything's going well so far this week. This is our final week of April. It's crazy how fast it's all flying by. Only a few weeks left of instruction, then it's time for finals, and then a lot of you in this class are graduating. So it'll be very interesting. I just want to take a few minutes real quick just to give you a rundown for the week. There's no need for a slideshow this week because this is going to be more you processing several different authors or I should say experts or contributors, whatever. But basically the topic of the week is the gender wage gap. And there's been this long-running debate. And if you look at the stats, that it does appear that women make a little bit less than men on average in the workplace. So the argument goes something like, maybe men are discriminating against women and holding them back from doing this. Sometimes people call this the glass ceiling. For women in employment. What that means is that a woman might be climbing up the corporate ladder, but there's an invisible barrier that stops her from getting any further, and then men can go through that barrier, that glass ceiling or the invisible barrier. And so there's all these debates that in the workforce, women are held back by certain factors. So I'm going to have you guys watch a few sources. On the left, you're going to see people like The Guardian. The UK's Guardian makes CNN look conservative, I would say. But you're gonna see some sources like by them, or John Green, the guy who does Crash Course. He's pretty left-leaning as well, and Vox is a pretty left-leaning source, and they're gonna give some arguments for defending the pay gap, but they're gonna admit that yes, there is some nuance to it, though. It's not as simple as men stop women from making a lot of money. That there is some choices involved and stuff, and I want you to try to catch how they ultimately come back to it being discrimination, but they do admit that it's more complex than they used to admit. On the conservative side, I'm gonna have you guys watch a video by Ben Shapiro. It's just a tiny one that's pretty funny on it. But really what I want you to focus on is the Prager University one with Christina Hoff Sommers. She's actually a second wave feminist who's come out really attacking some of the radical feminism of our day. And then the other source is, of course, Jordan B. Peterson. In his famous debate in England. So I want you guys to take a look at the conservative side and see why they argue it's not discrimination. That there might be a little bit, like you see that in most things, the tiniest bit, but the vast majority of the pay gap has to do with two things, and that's the choices that women make, the fields that they go to in the first place, and then the choices they make with raising children. That they'd rather focus on family once they hit like their late 20s, early 30s. They want to go back to family life. Or even having kids in general, that they want to have kids, and that's going to, of course, interfere with their work. So what I want you guys to catch when you watch both sides here is see the points of disagreement, see the points of agreement. For example, they're going to disagree on how much discrimination women face. The left is going to say women face a lot of discrimination. The right's going to say women don't face that much discrimination. But look also for where they agree. They both admit that choices make a big difference here, where women are choosing fields in the first place that don't pay as much. Right? Whereas men gravitate toward fields like engineering that pay a lot, women tend to gravitate toward fields like teaching. That's actually a good example. Or early childhood education, you'll see, or counseling, psychology, fields that tend to pay a little bit less in the first place. So there's different choices, and both sides admit that there is a choice factor, and also, of course, the fact that women get pregnant and they have to stop working for a period of time, and oftentimes that leads women to quit their jobs or to take less hours or choose jobs with specific hours. It tends to hinder them in the workplace as well. So those are some points that both sides agree with, and so I want to hear your guys' thoughts when you see this. So now you've seen this, you know some of the differences in the debate. Go on and get the worksheet ready, watch all the videos, and answer the worksheet, and then lastly go on the discussion and write your opinion. Basically, I want you guys to share your opinion, how you feel about the gender wage gap. Where do you stand on the whole thing? And I want to see how you guys process this together. And of course, CNN 10. Watch CNN 10 and leave a comment by the end of the week. So that's all you need to do. Watch this lecture and watch all the required viewing and fill out the worksheet in the process, and then participate in the discussion explaining where you stand on this position, and then watch CNN 10 and leave a comment. And that's all you guys need to do. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you guys this week. Have a good one.